Bill Stomper here. The winter has left me with tons of inventory that's gotta go. It's time for the spring family sale down at Franklin Sussex Auto Mall.
With savings up to $11,000 off MSRP on all new Jeeps, Chryslers, Dodges, and Rams. How does $169 a month sound? That's all it takes to lease a new Jeep Renegade Latitude. Or get an incredible deal on a new Ram 1500 Express Quad Cab. Your choice, just $169 a month.
Need credit? We'll help get you approved. Hurry to Franklin Sussex Auto Mall, Route 23 in Sussex.
Spring clearance event.
Welcome back to the Franklin Sussex Auto Mall, Franklin Sussex Hyundai Sports Beat. Dan Cleary has a baseball preview, sponsored by Mark's Auto Maintenance up there in Vernon Township. Mark's wife is a big fan of the sausage sandwich man. Okay, so she'll be watching the fair show coming up in August, which I got to get working on because that's almost here. So thank you. And we have a new sponsor, Northwest Mutual, Jerry Cantalupo, who lives up there in Sussex County. He's a Sussex County guy. Whole life insurance for your family. I bought a policy from him from my daughter. He's a good guy. Jerry Cantalupo. He has a Texas accent. Hi, Jerry. It's Jerry Cantalupo. All right, Dan, with that being said...
Yeah, is that done now? Okay. I kind of drifted away.
All right, go do your baseball.
Let's get to the baseball. And I'll do it in my own voice. How's that, huh?
You want to do Jerry Cantalupo?
How's that for a nice trick? I will speak in my own voice. All right, we're talking baseball. The first thing I want to mention, right out of the gate, new rule for pitchers. It used to be based on innings pitched per week and per outing. You only allowed certain ones. Now it's down to a pitch count. So real quick, because it's a lot of in-depth stuff, the rule now is a pitcher can't throw more than 110 pitches in a game and 140 pitches over the 5 days. You can't pitch more than 3 consecutive days. And it's just trying to cut back down on the arm injuries. Some coaches are for it or against it. The biggest problem I'm hearing from coaches is you have to have a quote, and it's in quotes, an adult pitch counter to keep track of the pitches. So a lot of coaches we don't have a budget to hire a guy to sit there and count pitches. So they're gonna have to work that out, but I'm gonna be writing a blog about it. But that's the biggest news coming in for baseball this year, and we'll see how teams develop their pitching. We're going to start off outside the area, Blair Academy. Well, they're in our area, but outside the NJAC. Aaron Kalb is the head coach there. He played at Rutgers. He was the head coach at Raritan Valley, and he was assistant coach at CCM. They've already started, but they're always a solid team. They'll play some locals, so keep an eye on Blair. Colonial Division. Sussex Tech was in the Freedom last year. This year they're in the Colonial Division. Keith Lauder takes over for Brad Zakowitz. Brad is now the AD at Sussex Tech. Well, last year they went 7-16, but they got some good kids coming back, and with the new pitch count, they got some decent depth in pitching. Seniors Brandon Bendez, Gary Walls, Tyler Crum is a junior, Vito Toroli, Zach Clausen, and then some young kids that did very well for Brad last year, George Gutierrez and Ryan Ball. We'll look for them to fill in the gaps and compete. I think they'll compete much better in the Colonial than they did in the Freedom, so we'll see how Tech does there. Plus, they'll play in their Tech tournament. Hopakon, second-year coach, Jason Movahill. Last year they went 4-17, but they lost some seniors, and Coach Movahill's hoping to have a solid season and compete in that Colonial, possibly get back to states. They'll be looking to Anthony Melillo, Bart Yoros, Brandon Olmstead, James O'Brien, Anthony Maschereni, he was a great wrestler, still a great wrestler, just a junior. Hopefully he'll have a good season. Armando Santiago, he's going to be pitching and playing outfield. But they have only 4 seniors, so it's a young team. They're hoping to lay the foundation for future success. You know, Hopakon only a few years removed when Chris Boglovsky was the coach that they won the division. Kittatinny under their head coach TJ Orlando. Last year, a good season for them, double-digit wins. Hasn't happened in a while at Kittatinny. 10-15, 3-5 in the Colonial. They lost their best player from last year, Dom Mayo. Terrific shortstop, also hit over 400. But pitching-wise, it's always so important in baseball and in softball as well. But coach is hoping that Tyler Vogt, Chris Laterio, Hunter Rossi will do a nice job. And then he's also happy that Dylan Rossi's back. But they're hoping to make that 10-15, possibly a 12-12 this year, get into states and see what they can do there, and possibly do well in the HWS. So TJ Orlando excited about this season. We'll head down Route 94, North Warren. Jim Halp, he's been there 19 years. Wow, I remember when he got hired. That shows how old I am, folks. He replaced Rich Fox. North Warren, always solid in baseball, year in, year out. He does a great job. Jim's only 2 wins removed from winning 250 for his career. So last year, 11-13, 3-5 in the division. They won a game in states last year before losing in the state tournament to Warwick. But they got some good, solid kids coming back. Jared Vose is back. He's a senior. He can hit 319 last year. He's also was a reliever last year, but I think he'd be more probably of a starter. Hunter DePrimo, he went 5-5-1 on the mound. He's back. Ron Lubertazzo hit about 300. Zach Schofield and James Ferrara. I think this group, which beat Newton last year, gave Newton one of their few losses in division play. I think if they come together and they're able to get on the field with the snow, that's the other big story besides the pitch count. With the fields, hopefully everyone can get on them for opening day. I know some fields like Vernon and High Point, they're going to struggle to get on their fields for a while. But if North Warren's able to get their rotation set, I think they can challenge for the Colonial Division title. And then we got Wallkill Valley, Kevin Lukic. He's in his 9th year, but I remember when Kevin was playing. And so, just it goes, time flies. 11-11 last year, 6-2, second place in the division. They went down and beat Dumont in the first round, number 4 seed in North Warren Group 2, before losing to Pascal Kills. They lost some good players from that team, including a 4-year player, Rich Stecker, who's at FDU Madison, Wes Walton, and A.J. Hill, but a good core of young players back. Dylan Harlow still pitch and play catcher, hit 300. Justin Rivera just scratching the surface. He's only a sophomore. As a freshman, he hit 333, was 5-1 with a 1.61 ERA. Look for huge things for him. He's a year-on type player, Justin Rivera. Jake Lonsky, he's back. He'll pitch, play some third base. And Tyler Small is also back. He hit 319. They're young and hungry, and I think they have a very good chance of winning a wide-open division. So why is the Colonial wide open? Newton moved into the Freedom Division. Sussex Tech dropped down to the Colonial Division. Newton won the division last year. But the Colonial Division, even when Newton had some loaded teams, always came down to between Wallkill, Newton, and North Warren. Right now, it's anyone's division to win. And, you could pick any one of those teams, North Warren, Wallkill, and if Kittatinny puts it together, they'll be in the hunt. And we'll head into the Freedom Division right now. Vernon is now in the Freedom Division, as well as Newton. Jefferson moved up to the American. And, Hackettstown, always very good in the Freedom Division. Gary Poyer's a great coach, has been there a long time. They have a very good player back in Matt Arcona. He'll anchor the staff and be one of their top hitters. So look for them to compete very well in the Freedom Division. And Muggs, when we come back, we'll wrap up the Freedom Division, talk a little American Division as well.
Okay, Dan, great job. Commercial time. Yeah, you're all right, Catelli? Commercial time out.
Bill Stomper here. The winter has left me with tons of inventory that's gotta go. It's time for the Spring Family Sale Down at Franklin Sussex Auto Mall.
With savings up to $11,000 off MSRP on all new Jeeps, Chryslers, Dodges, and Rams. How does $169 a month sound? That's all it takes to lease a new Jeep Renegade Latitude. Or get an incredible deal on a new Ram 1500 Express Quad Cab. Your choice, just $169 a month.
Need credit? We'll help get you approved. Hurry to Franklin Sussex Auto Mall, Route 23 in Sussex.
Spring clearance event.